Hi friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name's Beth and it's nice to be sewing with you today. If you're new, welcome. We're making a low block today, a very tiny hourglass block, and I used it in this little quilt. I like putting quilts around the house, and this size quilt works well on a table with a plant or flowers. This is an easy block to make. Let's get started. For our little mini hourglass blocks, I'm using 2.5-inch squares from my scrap drawer, and after cutting and sewing I will have 2-inch squares that will go into our little quilt here. And I'm using the 80-20 rule for my colors. I have 80% of one color, the darker color there, the black, and 20% of my pop, the color I want to pop. So I don't have a lot of this orange, but just a little, and I think that makes for a fun color combo there. You can use any two colors you want, pick one color, and then pick another color that can pop. So we're going to take our background square, our 2.5-inch squares, and we're going to put them right sides together, and I'm going to draw a diagonal line through the back with just a pencil. I might use a black as well while we're at it, and I'll get two going at the same time. Yeah, you could make a whole stack and you wouldn't have to stop like I'm going to do. So I'm going to sit down the machine and we're going to sew on either side of that pencil line. Okay, I'm going to start on one side of that pencil line and sew down, and I'll just do my next one while I'm at it, chain piecing these two. And now we'll sew on the other side of that line. I'll trim right through the middle. I'm going to go press these open and then we'll put some together. So some of my blocks, like you'll see in my sample here, are black and black for my hourglass, and some are black and orange. So you'll need to make a mixture if you're using my 80-20 rule. So some of them will have black and orange. So I'm going to put these together, right sides together, and I'm going to nestle the seams, try to get them close together, and I have the seams pressed towards the darker fabric. I'll lay that down, get a ruler, and make myself another line through the middle with pencil. Now also on either side of this line. And I'll trim through the middle. I now have an hourglass block, and before I use this block I want to make sure that it's 2 inches. I rarely have a block that's exactly 2 inches after using this method. So I'm going to use a small ruler and trim. And the half of 2 inches is 1 inch. So on my ruler here I have, let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. The 1 inch center is right here, so I can center my ruler and make sure that the diagonal line is going through the seam. It's very close to a 2-inch block. If your blocks are not quite big enough, if they are shy of that 2 inches, then I would recommend just starting with a square that's just a little bit bigger to give you a little wiggle room as you put your blocks together. So this is 2 inches, and to make my little table topper, my small quilt here, I used 60 of these little hourglass blocks. Most of them, like I said, were black, and some of them had that orange. And then in the center here, this is 3.5 inches. So I made, let's see, I put these 6 together. I put 3.5 inch here, and then this is one row right here. And then I added rows on the side. It turned out to be square, and then I added 3.5 inches all around to make this really pretty small quilt. And then it's quilted just on the diagonal using the lines in my blocks. I think it turned out really pretty, and that's a very effective way to use a teeny tiny quilt block. Thanks for joining me today.